Good evening, everybody. This is the Market Truth Commentary for Tuesday, January 25th. Let's go over and look at where we are with the indices. We'll start with the Russell. The Russell's been one of the weaker indices the last week. We talked about how the Russell is trying to pull the market lower and the Dow is trying to pull the market higher. Today we actually saw a little bit of strength in the Russell. The lower right-hand panel, this is the intraday levels. You'll notice that we basically failed right pretty much to the tick on the intraday low volatility level, and we rallied, closed on the high, took out the volatility level and the daily pivot. These purple lines are the daily pivot range. Took those out, closed on the high. The upper left-hand panel, we've been talking about this monthly. We're just hugging that monthly low level, 77.53. We've traded below it now 3 times. We keep bouncing back above it. So the Russell's trying to hold. It's getting a lot of help from the Dow and today from the Nasdaq that's holding these indices up. Let's take a look at the Dow. Dow was a little bit weaker today, the Dow and the S&P. The lower right hand, this is the intraday. You'll notice that once again we failed almost to the tick again. On the intraday high volatility level in the morning, we traded lower through it and then through it again, made a new low, but then we rallied back. Notice again how you can notice the relative difference between the Dow and the Russell today. The Dow did not take out that intraday high volatility level, and we traded much deeper through the intraday low volatility level. The lower left-hand panel, this is our weekly. Once again, we were right up against that weekly. We failed against it yesterday. We failed against today. The upper right-hand panel, still trying to get to Dow 12,000. That's basically where that quarterly level is. It's just coincidental that it happens to be at that level. But the monthly is strong, as I pointed out the last 2-3 sessions. This looks like the index is breaking out. It's a little deceiving. IBM is really driving a lot of the strength in the Dow. Let's take a look at the S&P. Same story here. You'll notice the S&P along with the Dow also weak today, relatively speaking. We did spike through that volatility level in the morning, but we came right back in, sold off. Again, I talk about when we fail at these levels, at the high or low volatility levels, it's usually there's probably an 80% chance that we're going to try to touch the other end of it. So when we fail up there, you can pretty much set your target, this 128.41 level in the spiders. We traded down there, we bounced off of it, made a new lower low, but we rallied to close on the highs. The upper right hand panel still fighting with that level. That's 1305 in the S&P futures. That's the level that we need to get through. The upper left hand panel, this is the monthly. Again, kind of hugging that level. Lower weekly, this is the weekly here. All these indices pretty much look the same. You can see some relative differences between the indices, but they're, for the most part, they're all showing you the same thing, that we're struggling to get through those quarterly levels. And the Russell's been somewhat of a laggard to the others. Here's the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq was strong today. It's lower right hand panel. You noticed we never took out the intraday low. We never took out the daily pivot range. That's where the bottom purple line here. So we held the pivot and the volatility level on the low side, and we actually took it out on the high end, and we closed on the highs. Also notice the Nasdaq was the first index to actually break the weekly. We broke through it. That level is right around 56.46. We closed above it today. The upper left, that's the monthly. And you'll see that we're just barely closed above that. And so the level that we're looking at on the quarterly is 57.49. So that's about another 40 handles in the NQ on the futures. So we're pretty much, what we're seeing is we're at this kind of inflection point. Normally when we come up to these quarterly levels on the upper right hand box, usually I expect to fail there the first time and trade down, and then probably go through them the second time. So I think we may have maybe one more day on the upside where we actually physically challenge those levels and then roll over, and maybe we'll get a 3 to 5 day pullback, and we'll get new monthly levels next week. So these monthly levels will be invalidated at the end of Monday. Thanks. That's it for tonight.